All right, and we're live with Mia Shark, and we're so excited to have you on last minute with your skates on. How are you doing today?
I'm amazing. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing
I'm
great.
good. I'm chilling.
Yeah. So
Hey,
we have,
everybody out there watching.
I know, Demetrius, our, how do you want me to present you? Does not like WordPress, but the amazing marketer of all time, branding, da da da, gives the feedback. And I'm so excited because I'm helping Mia with new business, her new business launch. And maybe you can give us kind of a rundown of what it is before we go into like a feedback session.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm back at it again. If you guys know me, I was the queen of CBD and I've gone into restricted industries again. We came
Nice.
out with a line of products, and I'm going to watch my mouth so you don't get banned, Michael.
Yeah.
Um, they are botanical products. It's from a leaf native to Indonesia. If you guys know what I'm talking about, comment it down below. It goes by the name Michigena speciosa, but it has another name that Facebook doesn't really like. I'm assuming we're live on Facebook, right?
Yeah, we are, but it's okay. I think we can get
Okay.
away with it.
Yeah, cool. So, um, me and my partner came up with this brand after Alex went into emergency surgery for a life-threatening illness. And when he survived, the doctors told him that he was basically going to be addicted to painkillers for the rest of his life. And we both didn't like that solution. So we came up with Warrior, which is the highest quality product on the market that helps people relieve their pain, which we're not allowed to say actually. So it helps them feel relief,
Mm.
experience coffee like energy and clarity, motivation, focus. And it's a huge mood boost. It's fabulous.
Nice. Well, you're going to be launching here in the next week.
Yeah.
So that is
Yay.
super exciting. One thing that I've recognized after doing some research with, let's say, your competitors in the industry was I love your branding. I love how everything from the packaging to the website. And Demetrius, how long have you been doing websites for?
Um, like maybe like 15 years.
Just 15 years. That's it. But the good thing about Demetrius is that he loves branding as well. And we have a mutual influencer that we follow. Oh my God, I'm gonna call him Jane Doe. Uh,
Chris Doe.
Chris Doe, yeah. Chris Doe, who is all about branding and design. And funny enough, Demetrius, I always use your story or that line that you give me. I even used it today talking to a new client. I was like, design without results is just art, right?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
he said that to me probably 10 years ago, and I have taken it and I've stolen it for mine. Now it's mine because he doesn't. I don't never hear him say it. I say it all the time. But the greatest thing about it is like if you can combine like because how I use that phrase is like it's not just something that's pretty or professional or looks good, but it has to create results. So
Mhm.
even if you can combine those two, really that's the power of all of that. So let's get to it. I'm going to bring up. So this is the new website. Now is this site live to the public? Or maybe like walk us through what we're looking at right
Absolutely. So you've got it stretched. It's not as responsive as I was hoping to see it.
now.
But yeah, so we just launched this and there we go. Perfect. Thank you. Uh, we just launched the website and we've been just organically getting sales in from posting on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, just the social media platforms. Word of mouth is spreading, but it's time to pour some gasoline on this fire.
Awesome. All right, so Demetrius, when you first look at this thing, I guess we always look when we do a kind of like audit or some feedback. When you first look at it, do you understand what it does? Do you know what it does? What is your first initial response? And
So this is
so first, wait, before you say
Go ahead.
anything, because we've done
All
this
right, go ahead.
before with a client, and we called it the no fluff jar. And what happened was there was this issue they were having inside their business. And it was like, listen, we understand, because me and Demetrius both come from Apple, and feedback truly is the only way we can grow and get better. So we never want to hold anything back. So we actually went to the store, bought this empty jar, put these cotton in it, and labeled it and said no fluff. And when we came to the table to give feedback to the client, we say, listen, from here on out, we want to let you know physically that there is no fluff that we're going to give you. We're going to be dead honest with what we see. And I hopefully you appreciate that, because our goal is to get you to grow. So we would ask the same thing of you.
Well, there's a client that we did it to this day. When I see him, he brings it up. That's how I know he's salty about it still. And unfortunately, he hasn't grown since then because he doesn't like feedback. But no, this process
but the other person took the feedback, right? The first
they ran with
they took the feedback, they ran with it. They opened up 2 locations, 3 locations. So they went from an online business to a brick and mortar, and we helped them through that whole process. And it really started because of that no fluff jar. I apologize. I'm going to stop. Go ahead, Dimitri.
No, you're good. I feel like this process is like how I imagine psychics are when they're like working with the police and they're like just like trying to feel and just get a reading. That's how I feel like this is, because you kind of do, like, when people land on your site, they're new to stuff sometimes, and like they're kind of doing that in real time. But then when you're like, hey, judge my site, it's like, okay, well, I got to kind of take myself out of it. But the one thing I always say too is that anything I say is always going to be, you got to take it with a grain of salt, because they're probably coming to this site from an ad, or they're being pushed here from somewhere else. So there's some other context that they have that they're building on top of, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So like a lot of the stuff I say, I try to keep that in mind. But honestly, some of my favorite things about just the whole like caveman grunt test of like, hey, just if I look at this, if I'm just the most basic human on earth, what is it about? And I do like video backgrounds for that. They tell a part of the story just intuitively to a human. So I think that adds to it. I imagine some of the verbiage you're using is because of regulation. I did a lot of stuff, like instead of saying like, hey, you should make it more stronger, it's like you can't really do that with certain industries. Like I used to consult for some insurance companies in California, and it was like, we can't say that. No, we can't say that. No, we would literally lose our license if we say those things. So I even understand that as well. But I think that just from looking at everything, I agree with Michael from the first time seeing this. The packaging looks like premium. So and again, when we say like a design or brand or aesthetics, I don't think aesthetics really have anything to do with like a personal taste. I think aesthetics really come down to, does it look simple, clean, and does it look like there's value in it? And I think that I would say you guys have knocked out the park. And Michael will tell you, like, I'll be honest. So like, I'm not trying to like give you fluff.
No.
I do think that the use of the gold is something that already people identify with. So just using it to like help meet people, you're making it easier for a human to get some of these values that you might want them to just subconsciously pick up. So the gold for sure. The packaging is simple and clean. The spacing is, I'm not overwhelmed mentally. Okay, so I love how you brought in the vertical video, which is just on everyone's mind. I mean, I know people who are adults in their 60s who are addicted to TikTok and don't tell me. So I just think all ages are just very used to seeing video in that format now, even more than the wide. So I love how that's how you brought in your social proof. Wait, go up, Michael. Go really quick. A couple other things too. So it looks like the product line isn't overwhelming. That's one of the things I love that Apple used to do. Now I'm overwhelmed. They got too many different variations of stuff. And I'm sure you might go into other areas, but it doesn't look like you guys just have like 1,000, like you're like an Amazon store, just 1,000 of products. I'm like, okay, well, where do I start? Where do I start? How do I all right, you can scroll down. Oh, I would say this, the font, the main font, and I don't know if this is on purpose, but the main font you're using looks like a font. Like again, it matches the brand as far as like a premium type look. But then I've noticed that the get started with your Warrior welcome kit looks like a little bit bolder, like you probably want to bring some attention to that. Okay, Michael, you can scroll down.
Well, I want to chime in too. So one, I agree with you.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Well, you kept scrolling. You wasn't saying nothing.
I'll take compliments all day, guys. Thank you. Please, Michael.
It ain't just a Demetrius show. What's going on here? All right, no.
Yeah, well, you kept scrolling.
I know. I got excited. That's why. Well, I will say the same thing as you.
All right, go ahead.
One, I just want to cement in like part of like attaching the, who is your avatar, what this thing does for you. The video, I love that it does that. It does bring in people, right? You have the athlete, you have the person at work, and this is probably the person who wants to like, focus more. And you have the person who's maybe just, hey, I live healthy life with yoga and whatever, and looking for maybe supplements to help with that. I also agree that the gold makes it feel premium. And we had a conversation earlier today where she was kind of trying to talk about like, all right, my avatar, this person or that person, low hanging fruit. We can go for this people. But, I would always say go after the person you want. And this is talking to a certain type of person. Funny enough, I had we live here in Florida now, and I drive down certain smoke shops. And they have the beaming neon lights and the big, leaf on there, and it's all colorful, and like that attracts a certain person, right? And I think this is doing the same thing where it's like, hey, this is going to attract the premium person. If you use the word Apple, right? Like this is, to me, this is like Apple's packaging. Like it's like simple, it's clean, you know what it is. One thing I would say, maybe some feedback here, because when I first initially look at this, I think I can buy these individually, which I probably can, right? But this is a package. So maybe similar to like a mock-up, like coming out of the box, right? Like you have the pieces inside of the box, so they know that maybe it's a complete set. That would probably be my only feedback here, because right now I'm thinking, without looking at it, like real quick, I'm like, okay, which one do I want? Not knowing that I'm getting all of this.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. And I looked at some inspiration. I stole this actually from some inspiration. But one of the other inspirations that I was pulling from had it sitting on top of a box, which I also really love. The challenge is that we don't have boxes in for this specific offer yet.
Okay, well, that's okay. Demetrius is a designer as well. Oh, he's like, stop it! I'm not doing this.
Sounds like Demetrius does everything.
Yeah, Demetrius, you have no idea. Demetrius is, man, this guy. I can't believe he's on the phone with us right now. But this guy is so talented. You have no idea, especially because when we were even working on changing the DNS records, and one of Demetrius's superpowers is making things that are so complex seem simple. And he does it through analogies, right? And he's like, to me, he's my analogy king, because sometimes I'll call him, I'm like, okay, look, I got this concept that I'm trying to figure out, and I need a good analogy for it. And he's like, and literally in like 60 seconds, he's like, do this, and this. And I'm like, oh, I love it. Anyways, okay. But yes, but putting it all to say is you could create a mock-up, because these are mock-ups, right? You can create a mock-up box, and even though it's not exactly what it would be, at least it still just gives the impression that this is something of a kit.
Mhm.
One other feedback, maybe, and maybe this is different on mobile.
Mhm.
If how important are these? Because they kind of hide in with the buy button. So maybe it's a big deal, maybe it's not. But when I hear 60-day money back guarantee, to me that's a big deal. And sometimes, if you look on certain websites, they stamp it, right? It's this huge stamp that says 100% money back guarantee, da 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 da, and it's big and bold, and it just allows for that piece of like, okay, if they're willing to give back a money back guarantee, then this has to be a good product. At least that's the perceived value of it. So I don't
Maybe
know if
turning
these,
them into badges or something like just up above. There's 3
yeah,
badges on the okay.
yeah, it's something that make them just stand out more. That's what I'm looking for. Like if they're important, free shipping, like that's why people go to Amazon, right? Like
Yeah.
typically I can see something online and I'll just go to Amazon just because I know I can get free shipping. And typically it's there, right? So I'll buy it from Prime or I have Prime, so but I'll buy it from Amazon because one, yeah, I can get it quicker, but also I know I don't have to pay for shipping. And who knows what shipping could be. So, but if these are important, yeah, let's make them stand out and be a little bit live.
I
That's some
love
good
that. Thank you,
feedback.
Michael.
Yeah, for sure. I think here I love that you have like the 5-star reviews. You have the testimonials here in the video. Maybe I would add just a couple with the words, right? So they would be in quotes and they would say Jim, and 5-star review from Jim, and oh, it helped me do this, da 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 da. Maybe I would just do that just because you have a little bit of space to fill right here if you wanted to,
Yeah.
and it goes with testimonials. That would be
And
the
I
other.
would also too, and I know it's like, wait, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down before I
Now we're
say
good.
it.
Okay.
It might be all right. Go back up, go back up, go back up. I probably, and I know you probably already even thought of this, so I'm just stating the obvious, but and I know there's probably a process of even getting testimonials, but I would get like a variation because it looks like crypto like crypto dudes would just buy it, and it's probably that's not true. You know what I mean? It's like a woman or different group of people because
If that's their avatar, right? But maybe their avatar is crypto dudes.
that is
You know?
true. But then in the video at the top, it makes it seem like it's for the entrepreneur woman. So I just think if it's early, an ideal customer at the beginning that's going to get us the traction is these dudes, then yeah, I mean, but the brand doesn't look like it's just for these guys. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying exclude them. I'm just saying like if
Just
I'm a
have them
woman,
Diversify. Yeah. I
yeah,
agree with
so
you. I agree
yeah.
with you 100%. Shockingly, it's hard to get women on camera.
they got to get their shirt on. They got to like do all this stuff. Get ready.
Right?
That's
I
one of the reasons
know.
I don't shoot interviews anymore. Uh
But
because it's just like I remember just you would shoot all this footage and then hey, here's the interview. You did amazing. Oh, I hate the way my hair looked. Can we do it over? I'm like, "Nah, I'm done. I'm deleting my hard drive and throwing my
yeah.
cameras in the lake. But
No, I think
I
that's
get
good
it.
feedback. Have some
Yeah.
diversify, especially if it can match some of these
Yeah.
this video up here.
I mean, just people are attracted to people.
Sure.
So, it's everyone's either trying to identify or relate,
Yep.
and you just want to make it easy for them.
Awesome. Yeah, are you still there? Because I
Can
think you froze. Oh, there you are. Okay.
can I like stop because I already know what the feedback coming is going to be, that the origin story is it's too much of everything. We've got a really high production version of the Warrior story coming very soon.
Okay. Will it be a video then, or is it
It
going to
will be a
be?
video.
Well, listen. When I hear the warrior story, I think of what's that new drink out? Liquid Death. I was just sitting with someone, and they were like, "This can is so cool, right? This Liquid Death." And I was like, "Yeah." I said, "Did you ever read the story on it?" And she's like, "There's a story on it," and she started reading the story, and clearly, I don't know how it relates to how the brand is, or how the energy drink was created, but it says like, "Oh, two guys were wandering in the woods and they're being chased, and they needed water," or something like that. And it was just cool to even see her expression as she was reading it, because I can tell now she was getting into the brand a little bit even more. And it was her drink. She didn't even look at it. And I knew that I knew that there was a story on there. And as I watched her read it, I heard her even say, like, "Oh, that's so cool. That's so neat." And I even said, "I don't think it's a true story." She goes, yeah, I know.
Well, there's a cheat code that, again, like I heard you say that, you know, you're reworking a story. So I'll just say this for the audience, and if this even helps just in general. I think I'm not a ClickFunnels guy at all, meaning that I didn't come from any of that Russell Brunson and stuff like that. And I've been introduced to it through Michael just over the years, right? So I have my own influences, and a lot of my influences come from movies, because that was my original goal. Was I went to film school. I went to be a movie director in Hollywood.
Very cool.
And I absolutely love movies. And there's something called the hero's journey. I'm sure you guys heard of it. It's literally the beats for every amazing movie. And it kind of reminds me just a little bit on how companies can utilize it, but there's this one part where it's about the guide. Okay. The hero meets a guide, calls them to action. Right. And I think if more companies would say, and here's a cool thing about the guide, right? The guide was a hero at some point in his own movie that we just didn't see.
Ooh.
Right. And so the guide went through this stuff already, and he recognizes it in the new hero, which is, you know, Indiana Jones, or, the Harry Potter, or, Luke Skywalker, all these different people in all these different movies that we've seen. And I think that framing of, hey, I'm calling you to your own movie, and I'm going to walk with you in this story. I'm not the hero, you are, I'm just a guide. I think if that part can be added into the stories, I just think it could be super powerful. And again, not saying that you're not going to already kind of do some of that, but I just like the aspect of, like, listen, whoever this person already was a hero. They shot their 3-movie trilogy, and now they're bringing what they've learned to the public. So.
Yeah, that's exactly the exact structure that we're using for the Warrior story. Yeah. Love your feedback on that too. At another point, I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told you Demetrius was cool.
Thank you.
All right, I like this. Let me ask you this. So you have some gold. If I'm just looking at aesthetics, right? You have some gold up here. You have some gold in the packaging. Is there any other gold that you use other than the logo? Because I could even see like a hint of gold in this area, just to like kind of still bring it together a little bit.
And also, I'm not sure what this section is. Shop the solution you deserve. I don't. So I don't know if it might. I think that's probably the end of my feedback. I just don't know what it is. So somebody else might be a little bit confused there too. So
yeah, sometimes like I know it too, right? So I know what the product does for you, right? So it's like I get it. I don't know if the audience will know, right? Maybe they will be like, oh, okay, I know what this is gonna do, and it's either gonna give me this or that. Does the headline need to be a little bit more clear?
Is that what this is? Is that what this is?
It's,
like what you get
yeah,
from it?
I mean, it's solution based. So each of our packaging has what type it is. And so if you notice, white is energy, because our white is energy, green is clarity and focus, and red is relaxation relief. And each of those photos bring in those elements. So it's a subtle nuance to what people are looking for. But honestly, if you click them, it doesn't really matter. It all goes to the same place. So choose your own adventure. You just end up in the same place.
You know what might be cool
I agree.
too?
It's my least favorite section.
I know what you can do. So one,
you're gonna say the exact same thing I'm gonna say, but go ahead.
Stop it. That's because
go ahead.
All right, so I would do 2 things. One, and this one you don't have to do, but I think the other one you should. So one, you could put a border, right? You could put a stroke. We call it a stroke. So it'd be a white stroke, a green stroke, a red stroke. and then I would put the product inside.
On the photos.
Yeah, I would put the product in the
Okay.
photo so it recognizes like, hey, the white product is the energy, the green product is the mind boost, and the the maroon or the red product is relief. And I think that's how you can tie it in there pretty well. Demetrius, were you going to say that?
No, I like your idea better.
Oh,
I'll say what I was gonna say, but I do like your idea because the reason I like your idea is because it's like I have this book that says "Don't make me guess" or "Don't make me think." It's from the
Mm.
'90s. It's a website book from the '90s, but the cover is so powerful. It just says "Don't make me think." So anything where you could just not make them have to like connect dots. So by putting the packages on there, it's like it. I get it. It's 3 different benefits, per package. But what I was gonna say was more of just a branding thing of having like gold, like badges, and one would
Mhm.
be like based off energy, one would be based off mind, one would be based off relief, and then have the packaging under it, almost like you get to choose what badge you're going for or whatever it represents, like
I love
so,
that.
like an iconography or something like that. So, but yeah, so
yeah. I think bringing in the products again is helpful because I don't see the products anymore on the
yeah,
page.
I agree.
So I think having them here will just kind of just like again just continue to
because
put the glue
also too with the icon with the badges, as you start to build your brand, those can be shorthand for when you start to kind of call back to those certain benefits. It's like they see the energy badge, they're like, oh, this one has energy on it, And if you were ever able to like come up with a new version where you have like energy and relief on the same bag, they're like, oh, I get both. So it's not really
together.
gamifying it. It's just I think it's more of like the warrior, and I think of like a warrior or like a video game where it's like you can be different characters and get different attributes. I don't know. That's where my mind went. So
No, I mean I can see that too because like you have to ask yourself, did I get my energy today? Did I get the mind boost today? Did I get the relief today? And the badges help. Gamifying it somehow would be amazing, but it does feel
Mhm.
like you get the complete
it's
solution.
almost like Girl Scout badges or whatever. What do they call it? Brownie Scouts? I don't know.
Yeah.
I will have that done by Monday. Thank you. I agree with you guys 100%. I'm like, that piece is just missing. It's not popping, and it's just no. So that's what it was missing. Thank you so much for that. You guys are
Um,
amazing.
I think I only have one thing I might add, but it might not need to be added. But can you go back up? I just want to make sure it's not up anywhere. It could be in the story too.
Which
I
is
guess
okay.
like the whole there's 2 things. So and I guess maybe this might just be kind of dumb what I'm saying, but I always just think like and again this might be also too because you can't say certain things. Kind of just like what I know what clarity means and I know what focus and energy means, but it's like what does it like what is the actual like plain and simple like results that I can get? Or and again, I know you can't say that, but
yeah,
my analogy is kind of well, not even an analogy. This is literally when I used to sell Apple products when I work at Apple. And it was like, okay, so I'm selling an iPhone to a college student, and his grandma comes in, and she's like, "Well, I think I want one too." And he wants one because he's going off to college and he's wants to be cool and the newest product and all that. But she wants one just to stay in touch with him. And it's like, okay, well, I would say to her, well, yeah, you could just FaceTime him. Just you don't even have to install anything. Just call his number and FaceTime him. And it was like, oh wow. And for him, I'm saying different stuff. And they're both right there. And I'm both trying to sell him the same product. But for her, it was just a simple terms. It's like you can talk to your grandson anytime you want. That was like the word I would use, like the sentence, right? I wouldn't say, hey, FaceTime. She didn't care about the megapixels on the camera, none of that stuff, right? And I know I'm preaching to the choir. So I think like when you get to the badge section, or if you want to use the images, if there's some way that you're able to do it where you could just say like things like, you know, get more out of your day, like those type of simple,
Yeah. Well,
basic
can I
things. Go
piggyback
ahead.
off what you're saying? Because I hear what you're saying, right? So
Yeah,
clear.
thank you for saving me.
I'm gonna yeah. But I got you because I'm starting now. I just put one and one together as you were talking because I'm starting to get these ads, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be a little transparent and vulnerable. But
Go
okay,
ahead.
I take Adderall, right? Because I'm prescribed Adderall for whatever AD, whatever, whoever it is. And funny enough, I've been getting ads that get my attention immediately when they say, listen, stop taking Adderall. We got something better for you. I don't know what it is. It could be this, it could be something else. But they literally say, stop taking Adderall. Da, 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 da. They have my attention. That's the hook of what's happening. So if you're saying like what clarity of the energy or the focus means, that got my attention. And now that I'm putting it together, I think it's maybe something it's for sure some type of supplement. I don't know what supplement because I haven't gone down that rabbit hole. But it's calling out the problem that I have, and the problem, and they got my attention.
Yeah,
I never went down the rabbit hole.
No, yeah, I think that yeah, I think that it does. I mean, it's hooking you, right, for sure. But
and it tells me exactly what my problem is too, because like, hey, you probably have this, and this. Your Adderall, you have dips, right? You go up, you go down. The other problem with my Adderall, if I take it too much, like I become used to it. I don't know what that word is, and then like I gotta lean off of it, or I have to get a higher prescription. And one, I don't even like taking it, so I like don't even take my prescribed stuff. But if I guess if I looked into it more, I don't really want to take it if there was a supplement that I could take that felt natural to me. Because that's one thing I don't want to get addicted to anything. That's the fear.
yeah, so I think that those are all the things that might potentially be missing from this page is like laying out the prop. And I guess this is like one of those people in a room when they're like, hey, I can guess your number. And they like have them come up and like they're doing all these mind tricks on you. And then you say, pick a number. And you say 12. And they're like, and it's like, oh my gosh, you got my number, right? I feel like there's sometimes they do that and they get it wrong, but they probably get it right more times than not, right? So I feel like if you go that route, which is powerful, it's like you really are focusing on a specific ideal person, right? Because you're pretty much laying out like, hey, are you tired of? And then you mentioned with your partner, right, about being addicted, the potential of being addicted to pain meds, right? It's like that thing. It's like use kind of like that,
but with the
like
prescriptions, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like the pharmaceutical companies and your doctors potentially don't care about. We're in an overprescribed society, right? And the right solutions usually don't make the right people money. And I think that like if you say something like that, what Michael was saying, it's like they're like, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
like you know what I'm saying? There's so many people that are like, you pretty much picked my number. That's exactly why I even clicked on your ad. I'm on your
How did the hell they even get me? That's what I'm wondering. HIPAA laws. That's what I'm talking. HIPAA. There's something happening. HIPAA.
No, you probably was researching Adderall and they done cookied your butt.
No, I don't even like. I don't research none of that. Now it's gonna hit me because I'm saying it. Or you know what? Maybe the phone is listening when I'm like,
Michael, but the solution is in that box that I sent you. Super green.
I know. From what you were saying, Demetrius, could you add that here, right? So say you have the package down here in the corner, and maybe I would make energy bigger, right? So it's louder. And then I would have maybe an overlay of text of like, for people feeling sluggish and need that power boost, da, 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 da. And then mind boost would be something else for people who have lack of concentration, da, 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 da. For people who need relaxation or pain relief. I don't know if that's the answer for it.
Well, it's the best way to get somebody to join a cult, right? Is that you understand them.
Sure.
right? It's always I don't care if you have the ill intentions. Like if you want people to come help you murder the world, you're going to kind of let them know you understand these and it's a lot of times we say it's the quiet part out loud, right? The things that people are not saying about what they're feeling in life, they keep it in. The cult member is saying those things out loud. And I think that is kind of, and again, I use the cult as I just use it as it's the same. It's the same, good or bad. It's the same. It's the same. Framework, except you just want a positive outcome for your community. But I feel like that's how all these people are like, yeah, he said the right stuff to me, and I just whether it's Alex Hormozy or whoever, like whoever these people are that you're spending $10,000 to go to their conferences and stuff like that. I'm not against any of them, whatever. But my point is they said the right thing, and they said what you were thinking in your mind, and I think that's ultimately what I'm saying.
Yeah, I like that, and maybe this is a good section to have that because you're kind of like pointing it out. But
yeah,
I really like this image here. I love that.
It looks so clean.
It's so clean.
Yeah, it looks so clean.
So, you guys want to know a secret? I actually designed that. I'm not a designer.
Wow.
I'm so glad that you guys like it.
Yeah, it looks so good.
Do you want to know what my secret is? Like, I literally just took one of these and was glued to my computer for like 6 hours, and boom, I came up with a new superpower. It was amazing.
Well, you did a great job because it looks good. This definitely catches my eye. I would like to see maybe what it looks like in mobile, so that making sure that it's present.
You know what I would. Okay, I'm gonna say something totally out of turn, but like I told you, I live life on the edge. There's no consequences for anything. And listen, I might say what I'm gonna say. You're gonna be like, oh, that's what we were already gonna do. Okay, I would get rid of all the females, or I don't even know how many females are in, but I would get rid of all the women from that video background, and I would just make it all dudes. Okay,
why?
I'm gonna tell you why. You got all the ingredients to go after the audience already. I see 5 videos, and it's some of the same people, but it's guys. And you got those 2 testimonials. So you want to change nothing. Get that audience first, right? Just get them. Then you start adding women. You already have, hey, babe, you could take this too. You could take the same thing I take. Actually, we already have it in the house. Now they got to order more because now it's 2 people taking it. That's what I did with Liquid IV. I got Liquid IV. Now my wife takes it. My daughters take it. Now we have to buy more Liquid IV because I have to share it with them. My point isn't that you don't necessarily have to do that. But my point is if you're just looking for like low-hanging fruit, like the website is already kind of looks like you got a lot of those people on it. And I think that again, people are attracted to people that are similar and like them. It's like, to me, throwing the woman element on it right now might be confusing. Maybe, I don't know. But that's just a crazy harebrained green light idea that could just go on the top corner of the whiteboard.
Let me ask this. So 1, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
2, warrior sounds very manly, just in general.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll agree with that. But the question I would ask is the people who are, and I'm not even going to say like the demographic. Well, let's use the word demographic. So the people who are in the demographic who are buying this right now, is it more men or women? And if we go back to the problem, what problem is it solving? If it's health-based, are there more men who are concerned about health or the problem, or is it more women? I will tell you, my wife will buy anything. Well, let's just say this. A good example is she would buy workout tapes on top of workout tapes, and we probably had 50, and I think she probably only watched 2 of them. Now, you probably want your person to, be on the subscription and use it and buy. So the first question is, who's more health conscious? Second question is, for this style of product, is it more men or more women buying it?
That's a great question. And I was actually a little bit surprised at the results that have been coming in. It's actually about a 65-ish percent male demographic, but we've got a surprisingly large amount of women that are really into it. And like, I did not think that we were going to have that split. I thought it was definitely going to be more masculine, but I added some touches to the brand itself to keep it more towards the neutral side than masculine. So as it turns out, women really, really love this product too, and they really resonate with the packaging and
Yeah.
the health standards of it. Like there's nobody else that has the badges that we do for safety. So they
Mhm.
really call that out and they love that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't
So
have a
I
problem with it.
agree with the woman though in the video for sure.
Yeah, I think that my that particular feedback comes from where I'm at in my business life. So it's a little bit like subjective or bias where I um I gave myself the term the practical entrepreneur. That's kind of like the brand I'm going under is all about practicality and really thinking things through in a sense of okay, this brand is not going to be just for men. And I know that, right? It's not just for men. But it seems like we have all the ingredients. And you said 65%, right? And I'm not telling you to not go for women. That's not what I'm saying. But maybe to get the right market share at the beginning, if we said, hey, we're going to really dial in our brand messaging to these people, because to Michael's point, I do think, and this is just from just me being a nerd, I don't want to say that I know everything about everything, but it seems like from the research I've done, women for the most part are really more geared towards beauty products and health, and men are more towards self-improvement products and health, right? So I think that this kind of does initially the way it's framed does really seem to make sense, especially with the warrior moniker, that you could probably really rally a lot of men around this, right? And then literally just add that other target audience in there and kind of bring it together. And now it's what you thought it was going to be. So the reason I said that is because I I'm the reason Michael brought that thing up about the art thing, like the art isn't because I used to be an artist. So everything I made was about emotion and how I felt, and this looks dope and all this type of stuff. So I've actually overcorrected to the point where like I'll get a piece of paper and put some words on it, but like here's my flyer. Because I spent so much time on the actual messaging where like I'm too practical. So that's the only reason I said that is for more of a practical, like bootstrapping type thing. That's not necessarily what you should do, but that's where I'm coming from
Yeah.
when I said that.
Yeah, I feel you. And actually, Michael, that's a great question that we didn't get to on today's call, is about like the ad creative and the male female demographic, because I've got two people who actually locally found our product and loved it, and they are such warriors, like the exact definition of what a warrior is, both successful entrepreneurs, both gym, like super fit and healthy, and like just high achievers that want to actually do our ads for us. And I was almost thinking of playing those two in the ads as characters in the same ad. So it's for men and for women. In addition to the fact that we're launching a 90-day live streak where me and Alex will be sitting right here in the Warrior Studio going live for 90 days straight, to build our tribe and connect with our users. So it is really quite male and female. And I would love to know your thoughts on targeting that demographic. If it would be easier for me to just let Alex go up, because I don't really like being on video just as much as the fact that the ladies don't really have any testimonials because our hair's never perfect.
Michael, let me say something. Let me say something real quick, and then you can go. So this is the no fluff stuff, right? So I actually think that you guys going for men and women, that's I don't think that's not going to work, right? So just want to make that clear. But that feedback was a very subjective point of view that I had, right? Just an idea. But if you did do it, you're a very attractive person, right? So, dude, like I watched the Golf Channel, and they literally have a golf, and I say that with all respect, by the way. Um, there's a I watched a golf show, right? And they have a golf pro, and he's always working with a woman who's a good golfer too. It's a guy, it's a show for guys. And she's a professional. She's not like she's eye candy, but she's not. She's actually skilled in golf. And so that element could work with both of you at the beginning, whether you want to bring in women later or at the beginning. I still think that men would like to have you there. All the sports shows, ESPN, all these shows I watch, they have these professional, qualified women who understand the game. They can speak to the knowledge of the game, and they're right there with the men talking about men's football. So I still think no matter what you do, you should be in there from the beginning in front. But that's all. I wanted to say that piece. Go ahead, Michael.
No, I think
Thank you.
yeah, I agree with you, Demetrius. I would also say, like, we could have specific ads run for specific people, which we can always test too. So you can have, a men's ad, and we can only target men, or a women's ad and only target women. And truly, you can make one ad that have both of them in it, and it can be open. The good thing is when we run the ads, it will tell us who is seeing it more, right? It'll say, more men are seeing it than women, or engagement is going to be more men or more women, and we can decide from there. But yeah, I think if you see it a 60-40 split, that's how I would do my marketing, right?
Yeah.
I would say, all right, so 60% of it's going to be focused on men, the other 40% is going to be focused on women.
And I do think the brand does work for both, just for the record.
Yeah.
Even the W and the Warrior, right? It doesn't look overly masculine. It looks like a nice little emblem, So
It could almost be Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think one last thing that I would add, just from the aesthetics point, if you wanted to add more gold, where you have the black, you can literally just have like a gold line up here.
Like a trim.
Like a trim, yeah, like a gold
Yeah.
line trim over here.
Mhm.
And I think that'll also help bring in the branding aspects of things. Even here, gold line, just on the black parts. And maybe that's all you need.
Done.
Like it. Well, any
Can
final
I
words?
ask a question?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So if you guys were in my position right now, what offer do you think that you could make $1 million on in the next 3 months? What would it be with this product?
Offer as in, let's say, like what packaging? Like what should you put
Like this? Like what would the funnel look like?
Well, as I think about this, I think about the story of Red Bull. And one, Red Bull tastes like trash, right? So like, I don't even like Red Bull, but it's like this so popular drink. And one marketing technique that he did to boost his sales was they would take empty Red Bull cans and fill the trashes with them. So then when people walked around, they saw Red Bull, right? And they're like, what is this drink? And the way he even like it didn't look like the regular soft drinks at the time. It was, a skinny cylinder, small. So when I think about that piece of it, and you're asking like, what offer should I be? I think really this needs to be like, it needs to be almost like awareness, like hey, this is the new cool thing. And I think that's what happened with Liquid Death as well. Liquid Death started going into the water. The Liquid Death water started going into I don't want to call them raves, but like concerts and certain concert venues. And then that's how they kind of got a huge piece of the market as well. So from an offer standpoint, the first thing I would think of, which I don't know if the budget allows this piece of it, but I think of samples, right? Like, how can I get a sample of
Mm.
this to see if it works, to see if I like it, and which sample do I want? Um, Funny enough, when you we work with me and Demetrius both work with a printing company, and we're like, hey, can you send me out a sample of what the paper's like and the different stuff? And consider it a lost leader, but I don't know even know if they charge you, but maybe they charge me $5 or $10, right? Now I get to see all these things. I say, oh, I like this paper, I like that paper. And they may even send it out for free, but it gives me the ability to make it feel real and touch it. So if you had all the money in the world, what I would try to figure out for you is like, hey, how do you get some free samples out there? Two things happen is one, you get your product out there for people to test. And then two, you begin to build your list. From your list, you can create lookalike audiences, you can retarget them, you can now you own it in a sense too. So even if you, which is might even be a better play anyways, um, because say your cost per acquisition for a person is $25, $50. But if you're giving stuff away for free, it's like fractions of the cost. But you have to come up with cost of the product. Are you holding up? Yeah, so now you're saying, hey, try my product for free. Give us your name, email. Maybe it's a almost like a free plus shipping offer,
Yes,
right?
exactly. Free plus shipping. I've done the math, and that's an offer that we can do, and that's why these were built.
Oh, nice. So you can
Did you
do
want
like
me to
almost.
do that? I can absolutely do that. Yeah.
I think I when you talked about the funnel that you were creating today, we talked about that real quick, right? We're like, well, how do we get someone because again, e-commerce ads run great because you can send people straight to the sales page, they make a decision and bounce. It's not really a funnel. But a funnel is like, hey, how do I get people's information so I can lead them through a process? And that first piece might be, hey, look, let me give you a free sample. Just pay for the shipping. Your first page, you've collected credit card information. Now it can be a one-click upsell to what they want to do or a downsell. Because that's the other problem is if you don't have their credit card information in there,
Hmm.
they have to
They
pull
don't
it
make it.
out, they have to do all this, and then they lose their credit card or they can't find it. But
Is this
doing
subscription based? Is this subscription based? Is that kind of how you're trying to build it?
yes.
Yeah, so it's subscription based, but you can just buy one. It's just more expensive.
I would. This may sound crazy, and I don't know how. I mean, all problems can be solved by thinking through them. So I'm just kind of just giving you just my ideas based on what you guys were saying. But I know just a big part of this is human psychology, and I would come up with what does it mean to be a warrior, and
Mm.
what the values are, and obviously those values should align with people trying to build wealth and try to build amazing lives, right?
I like
Because
it.
you get to borrow from that whole aspect of all the people in the world who absolutely love to follow what the wealthy do, and not just like I'm talking about like commitment, consistency, like all those type of values. So I would put that, and I would say we right now we're really looking for warriors, and here's what that means. And I would yes have them be able to buy the one-off things, but I would try to push people into annual subscription upfront, 3 month, whatever tiers you do, and basically they obviously you're incentivizing them with a discount. And again, this might be after that additional stuff that you and Mike were talking about, where you send them a sample and you kind of got them a part of your tribe. You guys are going 90 for 30. I mean, 90 days. You guys are going live, so you're gonna probably start building your audience up. But I would almost like do like reverse psychology, which still does work on like, look, here's the sample stuff, here's that. That's great, but you know, to be a warrior, this is what it kind of means. And this is the people who we really are looking for to be a part of our community who care about these values. And like we want to make sure we reserve our product for those people first. So this is
Yes.
our best. Here's the best way for us to kind of help those people get our product is we have earmarked a certain part of our product to lock in for a year. And and because again, what is when you lock in for something for a year, you're a person who, when you say you're going to do something, you do it, right? You're going to be consistent. You know that this is going to be a long-term thing for you. This is so. I think that if you can flip that in some sort of psychological way and kind of allow those people to self-identify, that'll give you that money up front, which is to allow you to do the different things you want to do in your business.
That's
Because
incredible. Yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, I like that. Listen, I'll contest that. One thing I just did notice too, and maybe how do you make this more of a button to know that it's a buy now? You could do gold. But I'm gonna go back from what you were saying just now, Demetrius.
I tried that. It looks tacky.
Looks tacky. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, maybe round the corners. Make it animated a little bit so they know it's a buy button, because it could blend in with like the stuff here.
Okay.
Where it's like maybe it's something. That's what I just think. Sorry, Demetrius, for switching up on you, but listen, I'm gonna tell
I
you.
love that
No,
idea,
that's fine.
Demetrius. That was awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Thank you.
double back on
Thank
what
you.
you're saying on how you know it's true. Because if you're talking about building a tribe, I'm a part of this girl, and I'm a part of it just because I like this chick. It has to do with what I'm doing, but the reason why I continue to pay because I think she's cool and I want to be part of the
Mhm.
tribe.
Mhm.
I pay $97 a month for 1 week calls, or like one time a week calls to go on, and it does have to do about ads and stuff like that. But I've never joined one time, and I even just saw the charge come the other day, and I'm like, yeah, I'm still gonna be a part of it, right? Because I like her tribe, right? Because
Yeah.
because I follow her because of what she believes in, or that whole piece of it. But it's like, hey, I want to be a part of these guys.
Mhm.
So I like what you're saying.
I love that. I love that so much. I might actually really use that genuinely.
Love it.
Yeah, well, let me know if
Because I
it
mean,
works.
90 days straight. Thanks. But 90 days straight, I mean, that's a commitment. When you're a warrior,
Yeah.
you do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
Honesty, integrity, health, wealth, love, like it's all so important. That is the essence of warrior. That's everything that we put into the brand. That's a damn good way to make $1 million in less than 3 months, really.
Yeah, because you know what you're doing? You're steering people away from some of the thing. Okay, so when people are making a buying decision, they turn neurotic, right? They get all nervous, like money back guarantee. Oh, they're gonna get my money back. Like they turn into all these things are for the scaredy cats, right?
Mhm.
Me, I never return nothing. I just naturally am a person where it's like, I bought that. It's like, oh, yeah, it didn't work out. And it's just, I move on, right? I'm not ever nervous about that type of stuff, right?
Mm.
And I think it's mainly because I've been telling Michael about this, I've really been pursuing just stoicism and just being just like a very calculated person who just you can't phase me, all that type of stuff. And I think there's a lot of people out there who are turning to that type of philosophy because our world is just so crazy. It's just there's so many ups and downs. And how do you battle ups and downs in your life? You become stable. So I feel like you're building your audience. And again, this is not trying to be evil. You're building your audience not to care about 30-day money back guarantees and it just naturally as a person, they're there, but you're really so your point, it's like, look, make a commitment for 90 days. You are a smart person who can make logical decisions for yourself, right? Because you're a warrior. And if you like it, it's going to be life-changing. If you don't, guess what? You can move on, right? I'm not saying to say that. I'm just saying that's kind of like you want to get that across some way, subconsciously or subliminally, or you say it. I don't know. I don't know the answer, but
I like what you're saying, because I mean, not to change this piece of it, but it almost can be that way, right? You could say join the warrior's way, and it's like integrity.
Oh, you totally actually stole that from somebody, though. There's another guy who has a warrior program, and that's exactly what he says. The warrior's way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not actually a huge fan of that person either, so I kind of want to like stay away from that.
Yeah. Who is it?
Ooh.
Oh, you don't even have to say it.
Okay. No, I cannot. I will not say that out loud. I gave away enough already.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you do. Don't do it though. Don't do that to me. I don't want no beef.
saying it. All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you for hopping on today. I know it was last minute, but I think hopefully you got some good feedback. You got a lot of work to do
Yeah.
this weekend. I'm excited to get you guys started.
And Mia,
Yeah.
this is so when Michael says I'm a graphic designer, I'm a WordPress master, and I just knock all that shit down. What I really like to do is thinking, consulting, help thinking through ideas. Like that's really where I feel more fulfilled. So yeah, I'm glad we got to do
That's
this.
awesome. You've been an amazing thought partner, Demetrius. You brought elements to this picture that I've just never had the perspective of seeing, and it just opens my mind. And it's like the sun has just like come through the clouds. I'm like, wow, everything is different and new and shiny. I'm so excited. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate that.
All right, guys. Thank you again.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
Thanks for having us, Michael. Appreciate you.
Yeah.